This sous vide rack of lamb is the perfect main dish for a special family dinner or a celebration. Hey, I'm Jenna. I'm going to take you in the kitchen and teach you how to make this delicious French rack of lamb on your table with only 20 minutes of active cooking time. The sous vide method is definitely the way to go. Let me show you. This really easy sous vide recipe calls for just 1 pound rack of lamb. It's a French lamb, which means some of the fat and the meat has been already removed from the bones. It looks really beautiful when you think about presentation on a plate. So anyways, I think about 1 pound is good per person, and here that is about 4 racks. And then cutting it at the end, that makes 2 sections of 2 racks. So to me, I think 1 pound of rack French lamb is the way to go if you're going to make this sous vide. So scale the recipe up for more people. So let's talk seasonings for the rack of lamb sous vide style. For this one, it's a Greek spice blend, and it has some oregano, thyme, garlic, onion, sea salt, and pepper. That's all mixed in advance, and then I sprinkle it on together to the rack of lamb all over. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I usually vacuum seal food. I just like the process of vacuum sealing. I don't know, I find it relaxing. I'm not sure, it's kind of a food hobby of mine. But I like to vacuum seal rack of lamb and other meats, but really you could throw this in a Ziploc bag that's safe for sous vide cooking, and it would fit just fine. And because it's one large piece of meat, it's not like you're going to have anything overlapping in the bag. So vacuum seal the rack of lamb, and then you're all set to cook it. You know, I like to sous vide everything at different times and temperatures and then report back to you on which of my experiments went the best. And for this one, I like to sous vide rack of lamb at 132 degrees, and that's going to get a nice medium rare, and it sous vides for 2 hours. These were absolutely perfect, but you could cook them from 132 to 134 degrees and still get a really nice medium rare. This rack of lamb was popped in an ice bath when it was done sous vide cooking to cool it, and that also means that it's going to really keep that medium rare temperature. And then when that's all done and they're cooled down in the ice bath, you can actually store them in the fridge overnight like I do all the time, or you could make them right then. And so you remove them from the bag and you pat them dry, and then after you pat them dry, they're ready to sear. Here you see I did a little bit of sous vide meal prep, and I stored these in the fridge overnight so my husband and I could have a work from home lunch together the next day. Sear sous vide rack of lamb in a cast iron skillet on the stove on medium-high heat. You want to do this with some oil and butter. That's kind of my favorite combination for getting the perfect brown crust on the rack of lamb. So sear the sous vide lamb rack for 30 to 60 seconds on each side, and you're going to want to use tongs to move around the rack so you can get each edge a little bit browner and crisper while the inside stays tender and juicy. Rest the rack of lamb after sous vide cooking for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're ready to slice it. For plating purposes, I like to slice the rack of lamb and serve it in chunks of 2 racks at a time. So here you can see my husband actually jumped in and he's slicing for us right in half. And then when the rack of lamb goes on the plate, I think it looks really beautiful to cross them or, make the 2 pieces interact in some way, and to add a little finishing salt or some fresh herbs like some fresh mint or parsley or anything to the plate as well. So I'm going to share with you what it was like to cut into this delicious sous vide rack of lamb prepared medium rare, but first I want to show you a side dish that would be perfect for this lamb. If you haven't tried sous vide fingerling potatoes, what are you waiting for? They're one of my favorite sous vide side dishes, and they're really easy if you are into sous vide meal prep. You can make them in advance of your meal and just finish them in the oven when it's time to serve them. They only take an hour and a half to make and then the broiling time, so I highly recommend you check out this recipe. It's available at sipbytego.com and on the Sip Bite Go YouTube channel. For more delicious sous vide recipes and other easy family recipes that you can make time and time again, make sure to subscribe to the Sip Bite Go channel on YouTube so you get all my delicious recipe ideas. Look how delicious these rack of lamb turned out. Wow, it's so good. And each bite, because of that crispy brown exterior from the searing process, has some of that oregano, thyme, garlic, onion, sea salt. It's in each and every bite. So good. Ooh, don't you want to eat it right through the screen? Hey home chefs, don't forget to grab a copy of my free sous vide beginner's recipe ebook. If you think sous vide steak is delicious, wait till you try sous vide lobster, wings, corn, and more. It's like a mini preview of my popular print book, The Home Chef Sous Vide Cookbook, which is available on Amazon and has over 100 sous vide cooking recipes. I can't wait for you to check out some of my favorite dishes in this book. To get your free copy, go to freesousvidebook.com. Again, that's freesousvidebook.com. Well, I hope that you have a wonderful and delicious day, and don't forget to check out some more of my sous vide and easy recipes at Sip Bite Go.